Hi friends, today I'm going to be talking about my journey with my eating disorder. Sorry that came out really awkwardly, it's just a weird thing for me to talk about. I've mentioned this a little bit in previous videos, but I've never really gone into depth about it. And yeah, I struggled with an eating disorder all through high school. I think I started when I was about 14, and I really got got into recovery when I was about 18, 19. So that's a huge chunk of my, I mean, it's all pretty much all my adolescence, but a huge part of um, my life. You know, I mean, it's not a huge part when you think about it. It's only 4 or 5 years, but like, and I know, I just want to say, like, I know there's other people that they never get better from this. They pretty much go through it all their lives, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, my life is so hard, but I think like you can't really say that someone's struggle is less than anyone's, because we all have things that are hard. It doesn't matter like what, we shouldn't rank them. So I just want to get out of the way because I don't want any controversy. I don't want to deal with that. So yeah, I'm so awkward. I've always struggled with loving myself, and I've always struggled with um, the way that I view myself and my self-concept. Always. I can remember being 4 or 5 and hating the way I looked, and that's the way I still view myself to this day. I still think I'm not good enough. I constantly compare myself. Um, I get down so much. I think that everyone sees the tiniest little things about me, and I constantly think that like I'm not good enough for anyone. I'm not pretty. That I don't have, I don't know, just everything. Like the littlest things you can think about, I get really down on. And I think comparing is my biggest thing, because I know that every single girl in this world is beautiful, and for some reason, I think everyone is more beautiful than myself. Um, like, for example, you know, I work at a restaurant, and I'm a waitress, and obviously there are lots of guy waiters, but mostly it is girls. Every single time we get a pretty girl that starts working there, like a new girl, I get so like anxious and upset, and I just compare myself to her because I'm like, oh, all the guys are gonna like her. Everyone's gonna think she's pretty. Like, why can't I look like her? Like, why aren't I outgoing like her? It's not even just about looks. It's about comparing my personality to hers. Because as you guys know, I am very shy, very socially awkward, um, very, very, very introverted, and I feel like when a new girl that starts that doesn't know anyone yet, she's automatically just very outgoing. It makes me so upset because I'm like, why can't I be like that? She doesn't even know anyone, but she's already so outgoing, and I get really, really down. This girl, I'm not gonna say her name, started working at my restaurant a few months ago, and I looked at first. I was like, okay, like she's cool, like she's pretty, but like she's not like, you know, she's not a model. I know it sounds mean because every girl is beautiful, but you know, I wasn't threatened. I wasn't threatened by her until I looked her up on Instagram. That was a mistake because I saw how she looked up when she did her makeup all nice and when she looked dressed up. And her boobs were out, and I was like, fuck, all these guys are gonna like her. They're not gonna, I mean, not that they think I'm cute, but like, you know, I don't know if this is making any sense, but to me it's making sense. And I got so down, and it's so stupid that I cared so much because social media, people post the best pictures of themselves on social media because, you know what, you're showing everyone. Of course you're going to show pictures of yourself where you only look good. Like, that's just the logic, but my mind just is stupid. So yeah, that made me really weird. So this stuff like that, like I always compare myself. I always just like don't think I'm good enough. And for some reason, when I was 14, it made sense in my mind to stop eating because I wasn't good enough, so why should I? I don't know. I don't even know why my mind thought that, but yeah, I ended up developing anorexia, which is really weird to say. I would just stop eating. I remember I'd never bring a lunch to school ever because my biggest fear was eating in front of other people. I hated when people saw me eat. it just made me so uncomfortable, so I just wouldn't bring lunches to school ever, and I wouldn't buy lunch, I didn't like to eat in front of other people. I still don't, to be honest. And I remember in 8th grade, or grade 8, I'm Canadian, so we say grade 8, I remember my friends at that time in my life, they started to notice this, and I remember they actually called me out on it. They're like, yo, like, do you have an eating disorder? Like, something is going on. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I got so defensive because they were right. They were so right, and I got so defensive. I was like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, I just eat later, you know, it's fine, it's not a big deal. But it was a big deal. I was starving myself because I hated myself. I hated every single thing about myself that I decided to starve myself. And this what happened all through high school. I struggle a lot. I don't know how to love myself. And even though, you know, I got through that eventually, um, I'm still really insecure. I still put myself down all the time, and I don't know why, because, you know, it's just something that is a part of me, I feel like. It's part of who I am to just judge myself and to compare myself, and it sucks because I'm always getting so down about no boys liking me and no one liking me, but it's like, how can someone love me if I don't even love myself? How can I expect to be successful in a relationship? As I was saying, oh my god, she just knocked down so much stuff. Oh my god, that just ruined the mood.